Alright guys, we are back in the garage again. Today's goal, so I'm going to set goals every time we come in here, is to get these self-tappers out of here and actually get some riv nuts in and some proper hardware to hold this stuff up. The biggest reason why I want to do this at this point, initially I didn't want to, but I've now taken these Overfenders off and on a couple times, and there are areas where they're drilled and they just don't hold anymore because, you know, the self-tappers have been in and out so much. So they don't hold in the thread that they created initially. So I do have this riv nut fender flare kit that I'm gonna go ahead and install. It comes with riv nuts in it and the screws for it as well, along with the black washers. But I already have the black washers on there. I exchanged them before to remove the silver polished chromey looking ones. And then I've got a drill because obviously I'm gonna have to bore out the holes for those riv nuts to fit. And I went by Harbor Freight and got a riv nut tool. I gotta swap out the tip of this for M8. I believe that's the M6 actually. So yeah, so I've gotta go ahead and swap out the, whatever this is called, the tip of this. Get it to the right size for the riv nuts that I have. But before I even get to all of that, I'm gonna go ahead and start taking off the Overfenders, and in that time I'm going to decide whether or not I want to leave this rubber trimming thing, or if I want to do it over, or if I want to take it off. I'm kind of debating it. I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes. But let's start by getting these Overfenders off, and then we'll start working on drilling those holes out properly, setting the riv nuts in, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, had to make a quick stop at Ace, just because it's the closest hardware store, but the drill bits that I have are all, none of them are the right size for the riv nuts. The ones I have is either too small or too big. The right size is not in any of the drill bit kits that I have, so I'm gonna run in here, try to find the actual drill bit. The size that we are looking for is a 23/40/64. Yeah, it's a real odd size. It looks like it usually comes individual. But yeah, I'm gonna run in there, see if I can find it. If not, I might have to make another run somewhere else. All right, so Ace didn't have it, but I checked online, which I probably should have done before. And the Harbor Freight near me does have it, so I'm gonna run over to Harbor Freight. But before I do that, we're gonna stop at Publix and get a sandwich because I'm hungry, and Publix sandwiches always hit. So we'll make that stop, run the Harbor Freight, get the drill bit, and get back home. Ooh, this deli line is busy. All right, y'all. Publix was a bust. They were just moving a little too slow in that deli line, so I had to get out of there and ended up stopping at Pizza Hut next to Harbor Freight. Now, Harbor Freight didn't have individual drill bits packaged the way that, say, Lowe's or even Ace did. I had to buy the entire kit, but at least the kit has the drill bit that I needed, which was this 23/64 bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this to try to bore out those holes and see how those riv nuts fit, and then I'll go ahead and get the riv nuts actually in the holes and set. So let's go get that done. All right, so I just finished up with this one. Went in there pretty good. It's nice and flush. So I'm gonna go ahead. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got a couple more holes to drill and a few more riv nuts to put in. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up on this side, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get the actual Overfender back on here and see how everything looks. I think my only initial concern is that the placement might not be exactly the same. Obviously, I'm using the holes that are there as a center or as a pilot for the drill bit. So hopefully they stay centered with where the holes are already at on the Overfenders, and it doesn't kind of shift the placement, but we'll see what happens. Let's keep going. All right, so we got this side done. This is the passenger side. So got the rivets in. Well, we got the riv nuts in. Then we got the washers and screw hardware in on top of it. I did go ahead and take the rubber seal off the top. I'm gonna leave it like this for a while. I gotta take off the one in the front there by the door jamb. But I'm gonna leave it like this for a while and kind of see if I want to leave it like this. If not, I'm gonna just take the Overfenders off and do it over, but properly. Because last time I did this in 2 separate sections, and then also this side kind of overhangs on the door, so the door was pulling it off. Like, there was just a lot going on. So yeah, I'm undecided, but I'm gonna take it off for now. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead on this side and I'm gonna start drilling out the holes and prepping everything to get ready to put the riv nuts in there. I didn't record myself doing this side because it is my first time using a riv nut tool. So I wanted to make sure I knew what the heck I was doing before I actually made a fool of myself on camera. But I'm gonna go ahead, get started on the other side by drilling those holes out. Then I'll start pressing in the riv nuts, and then the holes that are currently on the Overfenders are a little too narrow. So I did have to open them up just a little bit. So I'm gonna do that as well, and then we'll go ahead and get that side mounted too. All right, so we're done on this side. Got all the riv nuts in place. So now I'm gonna go ahead and switch out this drill bit for the skinnier one, so I can bore out the holes on the Overfender. So just to ensure that that fits on there properly. But we are, for the time being, done with this drill bit. Again, if you're doing M6 riv nuts, perfect size drill bit appears to be a 23/64. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know what the lighting's like in here, but yeah, that seems to be the right one. Anything else is either gonna be, might be too big or might be too small, but that one works just right. So time to drill that out, and then we'll go ahead and get it mounted on the car. All right, so got the holes drilled out, rivets in there. So all that's left to do is to actually mount the Overfender with the hardware that we've got here. Only thing I'm gonna do soon is probably look for M6 screws that are black, maybe anodized black or something. It's the whole reason that I had initially left the self-tappers was because they were black, so you couldn't really tell that much. But I mean, you can't really see the silver anyway, but I don't know. We'll see. I think I want to change it. Maybe I'll leave it. I don't really care. I do care, but I'm just saying I don't. But maybe it'll stand out with the wheels. We'll see when I get it outside and, you know, kind of feel it out. But for now, let's go ahead, get this thing mounted on. all done for now. I'll wipe the car down just a little bit. Finished up with the Overfenders. All the rivets are in, everything is up. I took all of the rubber fender liner stuff off. I think I might leave it like this. It just looks a little bit cleaner. Until next time, guys, peace out and God bless.